Hey everyone, welcome to the launch webinar of Copilot4DevOps V5, and thank you for joining us. I'm Jen, and I'll kick things off with a few quick housekeeping items to ensure everything runs smoothly. For everyone joining today, if you spot something really exciting that you'd like to share with your colleagues or other DevOps enthusiasts exploring AI in DevOps, don't worry, we'll be emailing the recording of this session. So, don't worry if you registered but couldn't attend live or if you joined a bit later. We also encourage you to ask questions in the questions box throughout the session. Whether we're showcasing something cool or diving deep into a topic, your questions might spark ideas we've already explored or even inspire something new for future releases. And lastly, to help us make these sessions even better, we'll be sending out a survey at the end. If you can spare a few moments, please let us know what you liked, what went well, and where we could improve. At Modern Requirements, our mantra is either win or learn, so your feedback is really appreciated. All right, that's it from me. Let's dive in and enjoy the webinar.
Everyone, my name is Shihan Fernando. Here, let me get my camera up and running. We're thrilled to have you join us, whether you're joining us live or you're joining us after the fact and watching this video. We have a couple of very interesting speakers on today. We have our Chief Geek, CTO, and founder, Asif Sharif, who's going to be talking about what his vision is for the AI and in DevOps. And we also have Jaweria joining us today. She's one of our top trainers, techies, professional services folks on our team. Many of our existing clients have had the pleasure of working with Jaweria and really learning and understanding modern requirements. So thank you, Jaweria, for joining. So for the folks who are new to modern requirements or Copilot for DevOps, don't really know who we are as an organization, I wanted to give you guys a quick little context of who we are, what we do, and then we're going to turn it over and take a look at what exactly we're working on today and what we have in store. So as modern requirements, to truly understand who we are is to understand our close working relationship with Microsoft. We have been in business for over 20 years, but a Microsoft partner for well over a decade. We've built extensions into Azure DevOps for over this decade. In the last couple of years, we've developed Copilot for DevOps in tandem with Microsoft. Now, as a Microsoft partner, our tools are available in the Azure Marketplace. They're also available to you directly through us. And we build that extension into Azure DevOps itself. In fact, the leadership team over at Microsoft has highlighted us as a AI transformation partner. And so on the left-hand side here, you see Nicole Desin. This is from 2023 at Inspire, where she called us out as a AI transformation partner. Last year, Kevin Scott, the CTO of Microsoft, had us up here on the slide at Build. And we're very proud of that. As Microsoft kind of goes down their path with Copilot M365, Copilot for DevOps, our IP, is separate, different, and super user-friendly, and is experienced directly integrated into Azure DevOps. So that being said, that's a little bit about who we are. In terms of what we really believe as an organization, you're going to notice that with our Copilot for DevOps asset, as well as modern requirements, quality is one of our number one priorities. Helping our clients and our users of our tools. We want to drive productivity, in uncertain times as we are today. We want to make sure we're getting the most out of our people, and having the right tool, doing the right work is critical. And Copilot for DevOps and modern requirements is just that. Ultimately, at the end of the day, if we're spending most of our time working and we're working with the tools to do what we need to do, we want to be happy. So you'll notice when we share Copilot for DevOps today and some of the newest capabilities, it's pretty fun to use. And that's what we're pretty excited to do. In our R&D team, they're always so excited to show us what is new and what's upcoming, and to play with it and actually give it a whirl. It's really fun to use. And lastly, what's a SaaS solution? What's a software solution without paying close attention to security? We use Azure DevOps as a application database and server. So when using Copilot for DevOps or modern requirements, all of your data resides safely in your Azure DevOps instance. So security obviously is a very important element of everything that we do. In terms of Copilot for DevOps itself, what you're looking at here are the number of different capabilities that we have available today through our Copilot for DevOps Plus or Ultimate, but also some of the new capabilities we're going to be talking about. So I'm going to stop sharing here for a moment. And for the folks who are familiar with modern requirements and Copilot for DevOps, we have a bit of a quiz for you, a little poll. So Darshini, do you mind launching our first poll? Excellent. So first question is, are you a Copilot user? Yes, no, and currently evaluating. We'll give everyone a moment to respond. Okay, great. So we got a mixed group of folks who are existing users and want to see what's coming, some folks who are not currently using it. So we'll talk a little bit about our journey to get to this point. And there's a population of folks live today who are currently evaluating, which is really exciting. Great. And if we can do our next poll, thank you, Darshini. If your answer was yes, which is currently your favorite feature in Copilot for DevOps? Okay. List and analyze are leading the race. Dynamic prompt is catching up. Okay. That's interesting. So for the folks, the people who are using it, looks like they really love Elicit. They're loving dynamic prompt and not loving analyze. Okay, great. So for the folks who are new to Copilot for DevOps, our elicit function as well as our analyze function, no prompt required. You're able to jump in, harness the power of AI with a click of a button to be able to build your hierarchies or even analyze what you've already written and improve its quality. So that's great to see people are loving that. And I also noticed that number 3 there was dynamic prompt, the ability to do complex gap analysis with the power of AI. So that's pretty exciting. So thank you folks for participating. And at this point, what I'd like to do is bring on Asif Sharif, our founder, CTO, chief geek, and really the visionary behind our product roadmap, but also the real driving force in our technology here at Modern Requirements and Copilot for DevOps. Asif, thank you for joining. I know that you're overseas at the moment. I'm glad you were able to join us today and share a little bit about your thoughts of what really brought us to this point. In 2023, we launched Copilot, elicit, analyze some of those basic functions. In 2024, we got a little bit more complex, impact assessment, Copilot for impact assessment to manage change. And now in 2025, I've seen it, but I'd love to get your thoughts, this evolution, where we're at today and potentially where we're going forward. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
All right. So folks, when we started to develop Copilot, right? I mean, obviously AI has been a hot topic for the last 3 years. And we jumped on the bandwagon with Microsoft. We worked with them to build Copilot. We brought it to market, and we've been getting great feedback. So we've been evolving the product. So one of the things we wanted to do was to reduce the friction between people wanting to do things and get things getting done. So we built these guardrails, which made things easy. So if you use elicit, it is so easy to define requirements and test cases and risks and FMEA and so on and so forth. Then we evolved it to bring out things like diagramming, and then we are releasing mock-up now for wireframing. And then there are use cases, we can get into that later. But one of the requests we were getting from people was, but I want to do this, I want to ask it that. And there was a whole variety of things people wanted to explore. And we could not build tools for every use case. So what we did was we built, and we are releasing now with Copilot Chat. So Copilot for DevOps chat function allows you to basically talk to Azure DevOps /LLM. So you can have a conversation with Azure DevOps, explore information you have in your project, analyze it, create diagrams from it, create mockups, do multi-step prompting. You could say, hey, give me a joke on my epic because I'm presenting and I want to start with a joke that has to do with the epic. I'll come up with a really good joke. Okay, so we wanted to build a very fluid interface that was, yes, it is a LLM that you can talk to, but it knows how to operate within Azure DevOps, create work items, update work items, create queries. You can create, it can even write code for you and run the code for you. So if you want to do some fancy calculation, you can say, hey, create code in Python and take the input from the work item and then give the result back to me. And it will do that. All right. So we wanted this amazing interface that brings the world of Azure DevOps and that of LLM into one interface, and that's Copilot Chat. That's the one big thing we're releasing with V5.
Asif, on behalf of the folks who are watching this after the fact, or the folks who are kind of new to modern requirements and Copilot for DevOps, it almost feels like we're building the tools that we make you most use of as well. Now, how has our own tools impacted the way we've been able to evolve and iterate to get to this point? Because this is now a 2.5, 3-year journey. We're on version 5, and what you just described there's nothing like it out there in the market. I'll tell you that. So I'd love to share with the folks watching this and at home right now. How are we using our tools, and what is driving some of the innovation in our R&D?
So a couple of years ago, maybe just shy of that, I had given a mandate to the organization at large, but certainly our development team, our product owners, our developers, our testers, our project managers, that we wanted to double our productivity. And we have essentially achieved that. But at the beginning of this year, my mandate changed. And my mandate to the company was we're going to 10x our productivity. And that's the power of AI. We go to 10x our productivity because if you have 5 Einsteins at your fingertips, what do you do with it? You become a Superman. You become a Superwoman. And that became our driver. What do we need to do? Now, for development, we use tools like Copilot GitHub. But when it comes to requirements or test cases, or test scripting, we are using Copilot for DevOps, our own product. And not only are we getting a lot of requirements from within, but also from our clients. So now we are taking all of that input and building things. I'll give you an example. We've got a big client. They did a hackathon of a day. So they got 50 people from their organization. They said, let's use it for a day. We'll see how it goes. Absolutely loved it. But here's what we learned from it. We learned that in places like dynamic prompt and some other places, people did not know, what should I ask? What should the prompt be? Because they can provide their own instructions or they would do their own prompt. Because there's so much you can do. So we created in version 5 something we call a smart prompt. What smart prompt does is you tell him in lay language what you want, and it'll tell you step by step what needs to be done, and it'll give you an option to do it for you. So you can press a button and say, do it, it'll go do it for you. So all you have to do is ask, it'll figure out the right tool, and then execute for you, right? That's the kind of feedback we are loving from our user base, because we can take that and make our product so much better.
When we started on this journey, Asif, a few years back, one of the things that an idea that you and I were sharing is AI generated, human edited, and that's going to be the best outcome. And so what it sounds like, and what I've seen so far prior to this webinar, is that the tools, especially this round with the smart prompt, is that we're really enabling people to make the difficulty of prompt engineering, making it simple. In certain cases, like elicit analyze, completely needed the need for prompt engineering, and where there is a prompt can be useful. With a smart prompt, we're really helping people to get to a solid prompt to really harness that power of AI. So it's pretty exciting. Is there anything else you'd like to share to our audience today? And on the recording before we turn it over to Jaweria and see what she's has to share with us today?
Yes, for sure. There's one thing I want to share.
Yeah.
So pretty much every session I go to, people ask, what's next, right?
Yep.
So I won't give too much away, but I'll tell you that the project we are currently working on is, the code name is the Guiding Angel. Okay. So the Guiding Angel is a project we're working on, and it takes AI and people collaboration to the next level. Today we drive AI, but what if our guiding angel could drive us as well? It could be a much deeper partnership, right? And so as we looked at the 10x promise that we have done to ourselves, we want to bring that to our user base. And so the question becomes, for the 10x vision, what do we have to do? And we feel that the Guiding Angel project is going to get us much closer to the 10x mark. And so the future is exciting. We are releasing a lot of great stuff in this release. And I hope everybody gets to use it and let us know. Hopefully you guys will love it. So over to you, Shan.
Thank you, Asif. Yeah, we're very excited about that. And FYI, we're actually going to be attending a few live events in Las Vegas and Phoenix this in June. We'll probably be releasing some of the newest things that we are in our R&D currently. As you heard it from Asif, we have been on a journey over the last couple of years, iterating and improving our tools to make it easier to use. So that being said, I'd love to invite Jaweria to join us now to share some of our newest capabilities that's imminent for release. Jaweria, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Shihan and Asif, for this insightful conversation. And thank you, everyone, for joining our session today. Now, I'm really excited to show you some new and improved features that will be part of our Copilot version 5. So without waiting any further, let's get started. So Copilot tool works as an extension to your Azure DevOps, and you can leverage it from the backlogs and the queries module. And it's also available with the modern requirements modules like SmartDoc. You can leverage the tool at the work item level, and here from the context menu, this is where you will find our Copilot for DevOps functionality. And many of the attendees might already know how robust the current release of Copilot Ultimate is, with features like Elicit that helps you create additional work items from any given input. You have your epic, you want to start building out your features. You can simply hit on generate, and the system is going to do that grunt work for you. And you can pick and choose which ones you want to convert into work items by selecting it from here. The system is going to generate you some additional description. And once that's done, you can create a work item right here. And you will notice that the work item IDs are assigned to these suggestions. Furthermore, you can, of course, go to our Analyze tool right from here and assess the quality of the requirements that the system is building for you. So we have given you a couple of analysis methods over here, like 6Cs, invest model. You can run the analysis on any of these methods. I have selected the 6Cs method, which is probably the most commonly used one. The system is going to analyze for clarity, conciseness, completeness, and it will give me a rating. So right now it's stating that the requirement that I just built is 80% there. I can make some further amendments by implementing these suggested improvements given by the system. And once that's done, I can improve it to a 90-95%. So how cool is that? So these are the features that are already part of your Copilot Ultimate experience. We also have a dynamic prompt tool that really helps you with use cases like a gap analysis. So as you are writing requirements, you may want to adhere to a specific standard. So in that case, you can simply set the context. It could be a single work item. You can select queries that you're building in Azure DevOps. And then you can give commands to dynamic prompt that identify if my work items or my requirements that I'm building adhere to a specific standard. And We also give you the ability to save these prompts for later use. So you don't have to do it every time you are running this prompt. So I'll share one of the prompts that we have created here. I'll be just doing it for the selected work item. And here what I'm asking the system to do for me is to analyze if my requirement is meeting the ISO standard 26262. And this is, again, just one example. It could be any ISO standard that you are currently following. And once I hit on generate, the system is going to analyze and assess its quality. It will identify the reasons for non-compliance, ways I can improve that, and it is also giving me the sections of the ISO standards that are not met. So imagine if you're doing it manually, it is going to require a little bit of effort. You have to check the details of the work item. You have to map it across the ISO standard. It is going to require some effort. But here, in a few seconds, it has given that work for you. So those are the features are currently available within the tool.
Jaweria, if you
Now
don't
let's
mind, I'm
talk.
going to just jump
Yeah.
in for one quick moment.
Mhm.
For the folks who are joining us live, if you have any questions as we're going through this presentation, please feel free to jump into the questions section. Put your question in there. One of our folks will answer right then and there. And towards the end, we will have a Q&A period where we can answer some of those questions. So if you see something and you are curious to learn a little more, feel free to drop a question in the question box. Sorry, Jaweria, to interrupt. Back to you.
Awesome. All right. So now let's talk about the new features that we are adding to the toolset. So my favorite, of course, the AI chat, which allows you to communicate with the system, and it will help you achieve use cases like how you can create work items, even better, how you can create queries in Azure DevOps. So we will show you that shortly. We are also bringing a mockup tool that allows you to create wireframes for your applications. Our smart prompt tool is going to be your guide on how to achieve your use cases within our Copilot for DevOps tool. We are also enhancing the categories that are available currently, like illicit and SOP document generator. So we have made enhancement to them as well. So let's talk about the enhancements first. So with the illicit tool, this is where you can select any work item and be able to generate output for it. For example, I'm starting with the feature. If I need help for creating user stories, I can select that work item from the drop-down, select the output fields that I would like the system to generate for me. Your out-of-the-box fields, your custom fields will be available in this drop-down. I'll just go with the description and acceptance criteria for now. And once we hit on generate, the system is going to, again, give me some suggestions. And I can select the ones that I would like to convert into work items. So I'll be selecting a few of them. So this is something that is available currently. The enhancements that we have made here, that is we have given you the magic edit function. So previously, if you were to make any changes to what the system has generated for you, you have to create the work item and then make the appropriate adjustments. But now, before actually publishing the work item, you can do that right here using the magic AI function. Now with this, we have given you a lot of different functionalities that you can apply for your work item description, your acceptance criteria. So the first function here is the suggest edits. So now the system is going to analyze your description, your acceptance criteria, and it will give you some suggestions on how you can further improve it. So these suggestions will be displayed on my right-hand side here. So it's giving some suggestions for the title, for the description, as well as for the acceptance criteria. So the title looks good to me. I don't want to really make any updates to it, but for the description, the suggestions looks great. I want to apply them. You can simply click on this button. The system is going to regenerate this description for you. So it's even making it even better from the first pass. And you also have the ability here to compare what was created earlier and what now the system has improved for you.
Just to jump in real quick here, Jaweria, for the folks who are currently evaluating Copilot for DevOps, and for the folks who are on today and watching this after the fact, who already have Copilot for DevOps, how amazing is this? The ability to improve it right then and there using AI. When I first saw this, I was super excited. Jaweria, this looks great so far.
Amazing.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
I thought I shared
and it is
my thoughts with
absolutely, and it's a great tool in the sense that you are able to improve before actually creating that work item. And you can even do manual updates if need be. You can simply go in here, add whatever you need to update within the description. And once you save and close, it will show you the updated version right here. The work item hasn't been published yet. The changes are implemented right here. I can further go down and choose my output length. Maybe I would like to go very comprehensive, or maybe I want to show a summary of the description. I can either go short, medium, or long right there. And for the reading level, you can either go very basic or you can go do an expert level conversation or conversion of your description. We also have given you this polish feature that is going to further update and it will finesse your description, your acceptance criteria. You always be able to see that what were the updates that were made to the system. For me, I like the previous version better. What I can do is I can simply choose to close this, and whatever was there available previously will be there in my right-hand panel. I can do similarly for the other suggestion. If I would like to make some changes, I can do them right here. But I think this one looks great as it is. I will create the link work items, select the appropriate link type, which is parent-child when I'm linking my features to user stories. So let's go with that. And here we have it. The work items are created. Whatever updates I have made to the description or to the title are also updated for me in the first pass. So amazing feature that is coming in our version 5 that allows you to make edits to your work item before publishing it into the project. All right, so the other enhancement that we are making with the Elicit tool is the ability to change the root level or top level work item, or change the focus from one feature to another. So in this case, I have worked with my feature. This looks great. I now want to work with some other work item. How can I do that without leaving this interface? So here, if you go to the right-hand panel, you will find these two new options available for you. The first is the existing work items. So in this case, it will show me this drop down. I can even type in my work item IDs or search them based on title. And once they are available, I can simply change the focus or the top level work item right there. So currently I'm using feature 12294. But now I want to use the user story and create test cases for my user story. So I can simply select that. Once I click on OK, my top level work item will be updated. So this is how you can change the focus of the elicitation. Now, the other option we have here is the setting up of the elicitation. So here, maybe you are starting off with a new project. You don't have a top level work item. In this case, what you can do is you can remove this top level work item altogether. And here you can provide any content or any topic on which you would like to do elicitation. Give me one quick second. Sorry about that. So here I've removed the top level work item altogether from this interface, and I can simply provide any topic on which I would like to start elicitation on. It could be an ISO compliant topic or something related to your non-functional requirements like security, accessibility. You can provide that here. And we also have given you the option to upload your attachments. So maybe there is a PDF that you have received from your stakeholders, your clients, and you want the system to identify what requirements can be built. You can use that attachment right here. And fun fact is you can also add images and the system is going to extract work items based on your image. So I'm using an image for this use case. I have added this image right here, and I want the system to use this image to create my work items. So I have given it a prompt, and I would like to apply this across the elicitation. So let's generate. Now system is going to analyze what components are part of my image. I will also show you what are the components that are part of my image. So this is talking about login successful. It is talking about credentials. It's also talking about multi-factor authentication. So if I take it away, oops, let me rerun it for the epic level. All right, so let me bring in a PDF instead. I will just remove this from here. Let's go back to the setting up of the elicitation. And let's bring in a PDF. It should work fine for the image as well, but let's go with the PDF for now. And let's create some epic on medication tracking. And here we have it. The system is giving me some suggestions for the medication inventory, etc. I'll also show you what the contents were for this PDF. So this also comprises of an image, some diagram markdown is available. If I zoom in, you will see it is talking about check inventory, dispense medication. So my suggestions are very relevant to the document that I have given to the system. I can simply, again, select them, be able to create them into work items. And you will notice that right now it's not giving me the option to create a linked work item. In fact, it is building me the top level work item for this epic. Here we have it. These are the two epics that were created. I can simply scroll down or drill down to this epic level, start building out my features. And from features, I can build my user stories. So those are the few enhancements that we have added to the Elicit tool. The ability to use the magic edit to update the description of your work items before publishing them, as well as how you can set up elicitation based on any images or any documents that you have or you're receiving from your stakeholders. All right, perfect. So that's our Elicit tool. Next, let's talk about some improvements from the SOP document generator side. So this is a tool that is currently available with our Copilot Ultimate, but we have made a couple of updates here. So here you can provide any set of custom instructions and on how you want your document to be generated. So in this case, I will just say, create me a detailed design document for an HR system. Now you will also notice that as I'm providing my comment, it's a very basic prompt that I have given to the system. With our Copilot version 5, we are giving you the rewrite prompt functionality. So the system is going to auto-generate and make your prompt more comprehensive, more clear. So here is the rewritten prompt that the system is giving me, and I can use this to be able to generate my document. Now you can also pass your work items as reference, but for now I'm just going to toggle it to off. Now, previously there was a table of content that used to be generated, but we have improved it. And now there is a question list that will be generated for you. Now, the intent of this question list is to make your document customized and more related to you as you wish it to be. It will bring you questions like, what should be the area of focus of the document? What should be your UI design? Do you need to add any images or mock-up while generating the document? So questions like that will be addressed here. So I will let it gather questions based on an HR system. And while it's doing that, let me show you how the output would look like. So here, what I have asked the system to do for me is to create a detailed design document on a CRM application. So as I go to the result here, you will see that, let me scroll up. This is what the system has given me. A detailed design document may comprise of introduction, scope, references. It may also have headings like functional requirements, security, compliance, and the system has generated me a beautiful document that is covering all these areas. And you will also be able to see if there are any mockups that needs to be included, any data flow diagrams that needs to be incorporated within the document. So these are the entity relationship diagrams that the system has automatically created for you based on your topic. If I scroll further, These are my deployment architecture details and my appendices. I can always regenerate, make it more closer to home, and then I have the ability here to save it as either a Word or PDF document. So let's take a look at what the system is coming up with the questions for the document generator. So these are some of the questions that are very relevant to my HRM system. So it's asking me what should be the overall scope for the document, which hardware components you would like to include within the document, and you can provide your answers as well as any additional details that you would like the system to incorporate while generating the document. So this is going to be a very amazing feature that allows you to create documents based on your document type. A detailed design document would require a lot of effort while you are generating that, but here you can see it is generating this document in a matter of few minutes. But alternately, if you don't like to add these questions while generating the document, you can always go with generate, and the system is going to generate a document even without a question list. So those are the few enhancements that we have made to our SOP document generator. You can incorporate a question list, or you can simply generate a document. And previously, the images and the mockups were not supported, but now the system is also generating these as you are generating the document. And here the system is, again, bringing the flowcharts, the UI designs, the mockups that needs to be part of an HR system. It will be part of this detailed design document. And here we have it. This is for my HR application system. These are some of the areas the system is covering for me. The workflow diagram that is very relevant to my HR system. The workflow diagram, as well as if there would be any mockup that needs to be included, will also be part of the document. So really keen on to getting your feedback onto these enhancements of Elicit and SOP document generator. So these are the few enhancements that we have made into our Copilot version 5. Now let's talk about the new features that we are incorporating here. So the first one is our mockup tool. So this is going to be helping your different stakeholders like your product owners, your UI UX developer, and also the clients themselves, that it is going to lay out how an application will look like or be utilized from a user's perspective. So this is going to create wireframes for your application. And you can start with as basic as just define what kind of application you would like to build. In this case, let's go with a customer management portal. I will just say create a mockup for customer management portal and also apply CRUD operations. I can always ask the system to rewrite and make my prompt more comprehensive. And once that's done, we'll generate a mockup for the customer management portal. Now the system again is going to analyze what the topic of the mockup is, and based on that, it will create relevant wireframes. So I'll let system run its analysis and generate me a beautiful mockup. Previously, I defined this mockup here where I was creating a CRM application. You also have the ability to select a theme. I have selected the Azure DevOps theme, but you can use a GitHub inspired theme, maybe a Slack inspired theme. You can select that from here. And when the mockup will be generated, it will be really close to home to these themes here. So when I generated this mockup earlier, this is what the system is giving me. It has generated me around 11 mockups, subpages for the CRM application. And here you can see it is giving me my dashboard. You can click on it and see what you can add, like the actions are there available. If I go to project management, I can see the details that are very relevant to the project management overview. I can add new projects. I can add a start date. I can even assign it to some user right there. So these mockup, as you are generating, you have the ability to save them in a PDF or an image format. So if you would like to share it with your stakeholders, they can see the different actions and they can provide their feedback. Because early feedback is really important when you are building an application. You don't want to make the change from the scratch. So right now, based on this mockup, they can give their feedback, and once that's done, you can make appropriate adjustment to these mockups. So here we have client management portal, we have a resource allocation and different pages. You also have the ability to create or add a new page right there. You can define some description for it, and the system is going to update this interface for you. So let's go back to the one that we just created for our customer management portal. Let's take a look at what the system has given us. These are the pages that the system has created for us, which is including customer management, customer profile. And you can create customers right there. So let's give it a name here. You can also type in the email, and you can provide the other details. And once you save, it will start showing up here within my customer list. So this is quite operational. And simply, you can also edit, delete these records if need be. So also here, you can publish these mockup into the work item itself. And while you are publishing, you have the ability to publish it into an existing work item or select a brand new work item right here. You can define the work item type. I'll just go with the mockup. And the field, if there are any custom fields that are available with this work item type, you have the ability to select them. And when you're going to publish it, it will add this embedded CSS file within the attachment of that work item. So let's create that. So it's going to create me a work item that is comprising of my customer management page. And if I open this work item, it will comprise of this description. And in the attachment, I will have the CSS embedded file. So extremely beneficial for the folks who are responsible for creating these wireframes. They can utilize this, leverage this code, and be able to create their application. So that's our mockup tool.
Yes, Jaweria, while we're on mockup, a quick question just came in. I want to answer right away if you want. Could the mockup feature be used for reports?
So what kind of reports? I need to drill down into
Do you need
this
more detail?
question.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
We'll drill into that further after the fact. Sorry,
yeah,
please don't
because
let me distract you. Yeah.
yeah, but that's okay. Like if you're publishing it into a work item, it will be available in the description of that work item. And with modern requirement, we allow you to generate your reports. So in that case, if this mockup is present in the detail of a work item, it will become part of the report as well. So you have the
Got it.
ability to do that. Yeah. All right, perfect. So that's our mockup tool. It will be available with our Copilot version 5. And now let's talk about one of the most exciting and my favorite feature, which is the AI chat. So if you are familiar with ChatGPT, you will feel right at home with this tool. And this tool allows you to interact directly with the system. So you can give commands, you can create your work items, you can even ask questions. And as Asif mentioned, you can even joke with the system if need be. And here you can see it is providing you with some options that you can avail right there, like creating of a work item. It is going to give you a prompt right there, which you can update. So here, as I'm selecting my work item type, it is also bringing me the work item types that exist within my project. I'll just go with an epic. And here for the title, let's add, I would like to build something around customer management portal. And I would like to the system to generate a description as well for me. fix this and let's add. Now here you will notice you also have the ability to rewrite the prompts in the chat feature as well. And the rewrite prompt feature will also be available wherever your custom instruction panel is available. Like the elicit tool, the analyze, you can always rewrite your prompts. So I'm going to rewrite this prompt. And once that's done, let's send it to the system. And now the system is going to start thinking what the topic is, what needs to be created, what the description should be. And once that's done, it will give me all the details for that work item. So this is stating that a work item ID has been assigned to this customer management portal. A description has also been included for that work item. So how cool is that, that you have just interacted with the system and a work item was created in the response. So let's take a look at what was created by the system. I'll just go to another instance here. Let's refresh it. And here we have it. This is the customer management portal the system has created for us, and it comprises of the description here as well. Now, maybe you want to drill down and create link work items. You can give another command stating that create features that are relevant to this epic and also link them as child. So again, the system is going to think about it. It will identify what feature needs to be created for the customer management portal. And once they are identified, the system will start building out links for those work items. So imagine maybe you are currently doing this with ChatGPT. You are asking questions to ChatGPT. But here in the confinements of Azure DevOps, as you are doing this, the work items are created simultaneously. So no more copy and pasting from ChatGPT to Azure DevOps. You can do that right there. And here we have it. The system has created some features that are relevant to our epic, and we can confirm here. So those are the work items that the system created for us, and they are linked as parent-child. And these are just a few use cases that we have discussed. You can create flowcharts for your work items. I'll just add another prompt here, create me a flowchart, and the system is now going to generate me a diagram as well, which I can then publish into my work item if needed. Now, as the system is creating that diagram for me, on your left-hand side, these are all the chats that are saved. So if you are conversing with the system, you are creating some work items, you always have the ability to come and look what was created during that conversation. And we also have the ability here to save this chat as a PDF. So as you are creating or eliciting requirements, you are identifying what needs to be created, you can save a PDF file and share it with your stakeholders that this needs to be created for this topic. So it will gather all your responses, the responses from the system here in a PDF format. All right, so here the system has generated me a customer management portal diagram with all the relevant features and epics that are part of it. You can always start a new thread by clicking on this new chat feature, and let's create a query, because how cool is that, that just by giving some prompts here, the system is going to create a query for you in the queries module of Azure DevOps. So by default, it's giving me to create a query that will bring the work items that are followed by the current user. But I don't really want to bring the work item that I'm following. Instead, I would like to bring the work items that are sitting in the active state. And as I'm giving this instruction to the system, it will analyze the work item state for the entire project, and it will create a query for me in the queries module. So it's gathering all the necessary details for that work item. And let's take a look at it's stating that a query has been created in the shared queries folder. So let's go to our queries module in Azure DevOps. And here we have it. This is the query that was just created, and it will have all the work items that are in the active state.
You know, one of the interesting things about this I found was there were cases where I did not know how to make a query. For example, I wanted to make a query that says, show me all work items that I'm following. It's pretty cryptic to define such a query, but I just told it created the query. So it's just brilliant to create queries using Copilot Chat.
Amazing. Yes. So yeah, again, the use cases with the chat are going to be massive. You can do it for creation of your work items. You can do it for creation of your diagrams. You can update the priority of your work items just by giving it commands over here. So these are the new capabilities that we are coming up with. Now, before we wrap up this walkthrough of the new features, let's talk about our smart prompt feature. So this tool is designed to guide you through various tasks step by step. So whether you are a new user or maybe you are not sure how to achieve your use case, you can use this tool. In this case, I'm just going to give a simple instruction stating that for my user story, I want to convert my description in Gherkin. So here I can say convert my description into Gherkin. And once I hit on enter, you will see that the system is going to start thinking. It will think about what I have given it to the system, the prompt, and based on that, it will provide me with a step-by-step guide on how I can achieve this using Copilot. So this is stating that access the convert functionality. I can simply follow these steps and achieve what I would like the system to do for me. But if I scroll down, it's also giving me the option to apply and generate. So when I click on this, this is going to navigate me to the convert functionality, and it will do that work for me. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the convert option. I can select Gherkin. Let me just remove this from here. And once the Gherkin conversion has been done, I can add this to the field of my work item.
In other
So here we
words,
have it.
Jaweria. So in other words, Jaweria is going to tell you how to do it, so you now have the wisdom to how to do it next time. But if you're in a rush, you can just skip the step and say, "Okay, go do it for me," and it'll take you to the appropriate place. Right?
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Yeah, again, so the use cases are can be you will need help in how you can write a dynamic prompt for identifying all your active work items, or you want to create a prompt for how to see your work items are adhering to a specific standard. A smart prompt is going to be your best friend. So this is going to ensure that you are working more efficiently and effectively. And it's just like having a guide by your side that will not only assist you with the task, but also ensure that you are using the right tool for and the right features for your use cases. So yeah, with that, I will this brings us to the end of our presentation. I will hand it back to Shihan.
Thank you, Jaweria, and let me just get my camera going there. So thank you, Jaweria, for that detailed walkthrough of some of the newest capabilities. And first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone joining us today, as we've kept the question side of our webinar busy. We've done our best to answer those questions as we go. There's a couple that I'd like to address for the larger group, and we'll jump into that in just a moment. That being said, for some of the folks who've asked for a follow-up or some of their questions require more one-on-one demonstration, I've reached out to folks on our team who will be reaching out to you directly to set up additional time. So with that being said, a couple of questions that came around, can you influence the outcome and how would you do that? And I want to quickly highlight for the folks for those kind of grouping and series of questions is that we last year released at the end of the year something called Bring Your Own Data. And maybe I'll take a pause there. Jaweria, do you mind explaining to our audience, how does Bring Your Own Data work? and what does that really mean for the outcomes that Copilot will be providing folks?
Yeah, absolutely. So with Bring Your Own Data, you have the ability to upload your legacy data, your documents, your queries that you have within your project into the backend. So now when the system is going to extract or create work items, it will look through that legacy data that you have provided at the backend, your queries, and even your wikis. You can upload them in the backend, and the system is going to look through the details and it will provide you relevant data for your work items. And this is going to be true for all the different categories that you are going to utilize.
We were very excited about launching this, folks. When harnessing the power of AI, it's using publicly trained knowledge, but the ability to bring your own data really refines those responses, ultimately helping you iterate upon your own IP in a safe and responsible way. And so there's a couple of questions around, once you create these documents, can it be considered, for future asks of Copilot? And so in short, the answer is yes, through our bring your own data capability. The bring your own data, so just quickly answer, your bring your own data feature is available already. So it's there's an additional cost to be able to enable that. But if you are a Copilot for DevOps user and you want that capability, please reach out to us. We'll likely be reaching out to you at the end of this webinar regardless. So just let our folks know that this is a capability they're very much interested in, and we can get that set up for you. We actually just expanded its capabilities. So if the backend large language model that they're using is OpenAI or Azure AI Service, bring your own data can be leveraged. And the capability of using Azure AI Service and bring your own data is another capability that we've added in as part of version 5. The next question actually asks, I'm going to put this one to you because I know that we are looking to get it launched by the end of the month here. But a question that came up is, it looks very exciting. When can we get our hands on it? So maybe I'll turn that question to you, Asif.
So we are in the last steps of testing and bug fixing. So our expectation is by probably Tuesday, we'll get our final build, which we are hoping is going to be, fingers crossed, a release candidate. And then we'll do a couple, 3 days of UAT. If the QA team gives us a thumbs up, we will bring it live on Friday, the 28th. But of course, if the QA team still needs us to continue to fine tune it, then it'll probably be another couple of weeks. So we are targeting the 28th. I think it's quite possible we'll release it by the 28th, but we need our QA team to sign off.
Thank you, Asif. And I guess one of the questions that I'm going to quickly answer here as well is it being used by financial institutions? And the answer to that is yes. Globally, we are a global organization. Our tools are being used throughout the world, in Western Europe, United States, here in Canada. And one of the main reasons why people choose modern requirements and Copilot for DevOps is that they trust in the security of Azure DevOps, and they want to have a single source of truth for all the requirements gathering and management. And as a result, having modern requirements and Copilot for DevOps enabled into their Azure DevOps instance, whether it be on-prem or in the cloud, they're able to do just that and maintain their level of security. So wanted to quickly answer that question. Just skimming through this here. If we by chance don't get to your question, and if we haven't gotten to your question already on the questions box on the side, we will be reaching out to you directly with an answer, and hopefully to jump on a quick call and discuss, and maybe even share your question on what we're capable of doing. With that being said, we have 1 minute left before we hit the top of the hour, but I think we can field a few more questions, Asif. I think that's okay. Yes?
Yep, for sure.
Okay. And for folks who aren't able to stay at the top of the hour, thank you. The recording will be mailed to you, emailed to you, and we will be responding to you directly with any of the questions that you may have. Okay. There were a couple of questions that I flipped over to you, Asif. Let me just pull them up real quick. One of them were,
Yeah, and why don't we do the polling before people leave so we can get some feedback on what they like from this demos?
Hey, that's a great idea. Thank you, Darshini. Yeah, here we go. Just before you leave, if you don't mind answering our poll, we'd love to learn more and get your feedback. So which features of Copilot for DevOps version 5 are you excited about the most? Okay, so AI chat, smart prompt, mockup tool, enhanced illicit. We'll give everyone a few more moments to respond. Don't be shy. We're about halfway there. Okay, so number one, AI chat seems to be the big excitement driving tool that we're launching here in Copilot for DevOps version 5. Okay, let's do a couple more here, and here we go. What's this one here? For the mockup feature, could you use themes like ADO, Slack, GitHub, etc.? Asif, Jaweria, were you able to?
Yeah, so we don't support themes today. Actually, no, so there's a dual answer. So we do have predefined themes that look beautiful that comes with the tool. What you can do is in your prompt, you can tell it what you want. And if you tell it in your prompt what kind of theme you want, then it'll use that type of theme for you. So you can do that. We will be providing a custom theme option down the road. So you can be very precise, provide your own CSS and JavaScript that we will end up using. But for now, you can just tell it in your prompt that I want this to look like an iPhone app, so design it accordingly.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm gonna leave it with this. I want to share a quick screen here. If you're interested in learning more and you want to reach out to us directly, you can scan one of these QR codes I have on the screen right now, or you can reach out to us directly or me directly with my email address as well as our Modern Requirements website. One of the several of the questions on the side here popping up at the end, Asif and Jaweria, I just want to share is that they're only allowed to select one of the features that they like, and a few folks have said that they like them all and they like several of them. So that's great news to hear. We're thrilled to hear that kind of feedback from our clients. And with that being said, we want to say thank you for your time. For folks who are watching this after the live event and catching up, please feel free to reach out to us directly. We'd love to have a conversation and do a one-on-one or one-on-your-team demonstration and answer your questions live over a Teams call. Thank you, everyone, for participating today, and we look forward to continuing this conversation with you directly. Cheers. Have a great day, everyone.